Welcome, guys. Today I'm going to start off by looking at my mythics and rares in my Crimson Vow collection, and then we're going to open some packs. So I thought I'll do it this way just because it's kind of interesting to just see what I'm looking out for. We'll sort of go color by color. I think in white, number one priority, I'd quite like to get a second Catilda. I've not played the enchantments deck for maybe a month or two now, and I think having a couple of Catildas could push it over the top, and I'd be interested in playing it again. This is definitely what you wanna be playing in that deck. And then elsewhere, I guess it would be nice to get a Thalia finally. And also, it'd be nice to. You can definitely play 4 wedding announcements in a deck, so it'd be good to get to just complete that set and maybe complete a set of Hallowed Hauntings as well. Need a couple of those. But yeah, mainly it's about the Catilda. Let's see, in blue, we just saw a successful deck using Cemetery Illuminator in the World Championship. The blue-red deck that went, I think it went 4-1 in standard, and it had this card, a couple of copies. So it's a good way of exiling things from the graveyard, and it gives you card advantage if the top you can look at the top card of your library, and if it shares a card type with something you've exiled, you can play it off the top. So it's a pretty powerful card advantage. I did play against a Jacob Hawken Inspector in I think one of the midweek Magic formats. It's pretty powerful if you can transform him for 6 mana. Mirror Hall Mimic. There's definitely some interesting combos with this card. So yeah, at the beginning of upkeep, create a token that's a copy of enchanted creature except as a spirit. So that's interesting. You get a copy every upkeep. Imagine that on your Titan of Industry. Could be very interesting. Yeah, Consuming Tide is it's basically a sweeper for blue. Each player bounces all but one of their non-land permanents, so that can help kind of maybe a blue combo deck survive whilst it's the blue-green combo decks that ramp out lots of land can use this kind of card to stay alive. And of course, Hullbreaker Horror. I have 1 copy. I noticed there's a lot of decks that just use 1 copy. It wouldn't be. I think it would be quite reasonable to have a second copy of Hullbreaker Horror. That's probably my I'll call that my number 1 target. Get the second Hullbreaker. There's a few combos with Overcharged Amalgam, of course, as well. You can copy this with Fable of the Mirror Breaker and just have counter spells for days. Yeah, maybe that's it would be nice to get one of these. I think that's my maybe my second priority. That one. Then in black, what have we got? So yeah, one of the ones I'm missing is Henrika Domnathi. That's just a good solid card. It can it's 4 mana. It's a flyer. It replaces itself. You can just draw a card. You can make your opponent sacrifice a creature. It's good card advantage. There's also Sorin the Mirthless. That seems to be an incredibly popular Planeswalker. I guess having a 2/3 flying lifelinker is a very good way to protect it. The card can protect itself. Though more and more I see people just using it for card advantage to draw cards. I'm quite a fan of Cemetery Desecrator. This is basically a come into play and kill something card, but also it does the same when it leaves play, so it can potentially kill 2 things. This would be pretty fantastic. And of course, Toxrill the Corrosive. Absolutely amazing card, this. I've been playing quite a few reanimator decks. I think this is going to be my number 1 target. I want to get Toxrill. Symmetry Desecrated, maybe number 2. Less bothered about the other things. I'm quite a fan of Concealing Curtains. I think that's quite a good one. More Paths of Peril could be good because it's, I guess, the replacement for Meathook Massacre. But I suppose that is quite an expensive sweeper for 6 mana. You can obviously for 6 mana you can play the white removal spell, Farewell, of course. But this has got 2 modes, so it can help you get against those really low to the ground aggro decks in the early game. Let's look at red. Interesting card, Kessie Wolfrider. Don't think I've ever seen anyone play it, or I've forgotten if they did. I quite like the Gatekeeper. Yeah, another Chandra might be quite good for my red deck. Manaform Hellkite. So, yeah, that seems pretty amazing. Imagine that with, just thinking of the blue card draw spell. Memory Deluge can make a 7/7. I guess, yeah, maybe red is not quite as impressive as the other colours, I'd guess, here. So I think number 1 priority, I'd like a Manaform Hellkite. Second priority would maybe getting another Chandra. Onto green. Okay. Now green has Ascendant Pack Leader. I don't have any of these at all. Usually people play these in... well, they either play 0 or they play 4 copies of this guy. So it'd be nice to get started on this, collecting these for the green Stompy deck. Hamlet Vanguard seems quite good for a humans deck. It seems to have, well, it's got Ward 2 and it gets to be huge quite a lot of the time. Oh yeah, there's some big top end things here. So Ulvenwald Oddity is good, and Avabrook Caretaker is absolutely amazing. I think that's my number 1 priority, looking for Avabrook Caretaker. And maybe Oddity, Ulvenwald Oddity in the sort of second spot. Right, any lands I get, fantastic. That's less wildcards I have to spend. I'm just gonna wildcard all of my lands after I open these packs. But in terms of multicolored cards, I've seen people play Kaya Geist Hunter. I see you can get Death Touch, +1/+1 on a creature token. I see it does the extra tokens. Oh, that's really interesting. There's it reminds me of I think a Ravnica Allegiance card that Taser Karlov, which I think no, that one in particular doubled death triggers, and there was a death trigger that made spirit tokens in that set. But yeah, that's an interesting combo card. I just got a Runo, Stromkirk, Aeruth. Oh, that is an interesting one for blue-red. So with that, when you've got lots of cheap spells, that could be quite insane. Big fan of Helena and Elena. I think that's a really good one. There's definitely an Odric Blood Curse deck as well. To make lots of blood tokens. I've already got 3 Grolnoks. It'd be nice to get 4. In the multicolored cards, I probably like Helena and Elena the most of all of these ones. Then you've got a couple of interesting kind of combo-y cards, combo pieces. Eruth and Kaya. Both quite interesting. And as for artifacts, there aren't very many artifacts, right? You've got Investigator's Journal, Dollhouse of Horrors, you've got a Land Hill, Darren Estate. Yeah, I think it'd be nice to get another Dollhouse of Horrors. That's another sort of combo piece. Yeah, okay, so we've gone over those. I think we'll go to the packs now. Make sure we're on the right one. Yep. Okay, and we're going to open them one by one. Okay. There's the Ancient Lumberknot. Okay, Falconwrath Forebear. So this is, yeah, an aggressive vampire card. 3/1 flying, and it can come back from the graveyard. I think that is okay. When it deals combat damage to a player, you make a blood token. I think that could be quite good. Okay, there's the Twin-Bladed Geist. Oh, Mythic Rare Wildcard. Not a bad result at all. Oh yeah, Spore Crawler. That's one of the commons I never managed to draft. I think I had an opportunity, but there was something else I wanted. Probably something that was a werewolf for my wolf deck. Oh, there we go. So that's Ascendant Pack Leader number 1. We've made a start on these, so that's good. Cloaked Cadet, quite an interesting card. Oh, there's Eruth, Tormented Prophet, so yeah, we think that's definitely for a blue-red low-to-the-ground spells deck. Could be pretty awesome. And Kaya Geist Hunter. So that's the nice. That's another combo card to go with tokens. And I have an Orzhov tokens deck, so that could go quite well with that. But there's definitely some really big token creators. I guess playing this with the red-white token creator could be pretty awesome. I think it's 1 red, 1 white, and X, and it makes X 2/2 menace hasters, but it gives half X 2/2 creatures to your opponent as well. Yeah, I've got. Okay, yeah, that's a deck I'm making, definitely. Right. A Ganjo Uprising, it's called. Deathcat Glade, very happy to see lands. Less, obviously, I'm going to wildcard all the lands I'm missing right after this. Inspired Idea, that's number 4. I guess it's, yeah, draw 3 for 3, but it is sorcery speed. It's probably outmoded by the Dominaria card draw card, where you can draw 3 at instant speed for 5 mana. If for some reason sorceries are important, this might go in a sorcery deck. It reduces your hand size, so it helps you discard cards, so that might be important as well. Hey, Dream Shackle Geist. I think that's my Actually, that's probably my fourth one of these, so that's that could be interesting for a Spirits deck. Okay, that's Olivia's Attendance number 3. Would you play 3 of them in a deck? You could try, I suppose. Hello, what's this? Oh, Skull Scab. I see it has 2 versions. It has an alchemy version. Whenever a creature you control exploits a creature. Wait, what's the difference between these? Spot the difference. Okay, I think I've got that one. Oh, whenever a creature you control exploits a non-token creature, you make a token. This lets you keep getting zombies even when you're exploiting tokens. Ah, nice. There's the Henrika, right. And it can pump. The transformed version can pump every flying Death Touch or Lifelinker with 1 power. So goes well with that other rare vampire, 3/1 flyer. Seems cool. Okay, cool. Our land is good. Okay, that's another sweeper. That's my second copy of that one. That's very welcome. Yay, my first Ulvenwald oddity. Okay. Yeah, this seems just yeah, pretty powerful. Another way of giving your team trample as well, if you can transform it. It's just a little matter of 7 mana, but I see people transforming these things all the time. Patchwork Crawler. This is a very interesting card. So I guess it's a little bit like there was a black-blue legendary from, I think, from Guilds of Ravnica, who did something quite similar to this. It means you've got to think about activated abilities on creature cards. So it's quite a you've got to do quite a bit of investigation to try and figure out what the most broken activated ability is that you can dump in your graveyard and sort of steal with Patchwork Crawler. And then this might be good, but I'm sure someone has made a deck with this. Dig up. Okay, so this is yeah, you can either search for a basic land, or you can search for anything if you pay 4, which is quite good. I'm quite a fan of tutor cards. I know they're it runs into the tempo problem, so you know your spike players kind of reject these kinds of cards because they are just too big of an investment in tempo. They're probably right most of the time, but I still think they've got potential. Right. At least, and that's a good one because it's got 2 modes, which makes it good. Oh, cool! Another Howlpack Piper. So this is quite relevant at the moment. There's quite a few counter spells flying around again. So, and I came a cropper of this card. I think he put out about the guy put out for about 4 werewolves in 1 turn. Might even have had a counter spell in that game as well. So you can't counterspell things when they're coming out as a an activated ability. unless it specifically says you can't counter this activated ability. Interesting, that's the first gluttonous guest I've got. Path of Peril, okay, that's number 3. So yeah, we've done pretty well for board sweepers here. And a second Dollhouse of Horrors, cool. That's pretty good. I think most decks you'd probably with this you'd probably play a couple. You just kind of got to figure out the best things to dump in the graveyard and turn into tokens. But I guess Titan of Industry again is going to be a pretty good one. Okay, cool. Third Voldaren Estate. That's going to go straight in my Vampire deck. I was just thinking, I've got the Edgar the Charmed Groom is a black-white vampire. So I think I'd gone red, black, blue. I was thinking, well, do you go 4 colours and splash Edgar? But this makes splashing Edgar into the vampire deck a lot easier. Another land, that's always good. Ah yes, Jacob Hawken Inspector. I'll get to try out this card then. So the transformation is, yeah, beginning of the upkeep, exile top 2 cards. No, sorry, exile top card. You can look at it, and you can play a land or cast a spell among the cards exiled with this permanent without paying its mana cost once a turn. So you pay 6 mana once, and then you get a free spell potentially every turn, which is pretty cool. And he can kind of rack up exiled cards whilst he's a 0/2. Kind of interesting. Another way to cheat out cards. I think that could be quite fun. That's my first Oldenbock Escort. Yeah, because it always seems quite narrow, because you can only target creatures with +1/+1 counters. Another Runo Stromkirk. So, yeah, we'll have to make that deck at some point as well. Probably with the Serpent from Dominaria United. Arm the Cathars, yeah, nice pump spell. That's my first copy of that. And this is the last pack. Fantastic result. We got a Cemetery Desecrator. So yeah, this is okay. We didn't get a Toxrill, but this is the next best thing to Toxrill, I think. This definitely goes in my Reanimator deck straight away. Right, and I think the next step, I'm going to look. Oh, look, we got back up to 100 rare wildcards. That's pretty good going. I think the schedule is probably December. I'll do my last new Capenna drafts and then open these packs. And in January, I'll do a few Dominaria, probably 3 or 4 Dominaria United drafts, and then open these. And I'll have over 100 to open. Yeah, we're going to now do a bit of a recap on the collection. Lots of stuff here. Let's go Crimson Vow, rares and mythics. So first, just a little recap. Yeah, we got another invitation only. Jacob Hawken, Patchwork Crawler. Yeah, we've got 4 copies of Dream Shacklegeist now. I think that seems pretty viable. I think that could definitely be a deck. 4 inspired ideas as well. Yeah, Falconwrath Forebear, Henrika, another Path of Peril. Cemetery Desecrator. Yeah, I think a third Olivia's Attendants was the only red card I got. Got our first Ascendant Pack Leader. Another Howlpack Piper. An Uvenwald Oddity. It's a good hit. We got Kaya, we got Eruth, we got a second Runo Stromkirk. A few lands here and there. A second Dollhouse, which is cool. And a third Voldaran Estate. Actually, we completed our set of Sundown Passes, so just now we will look at the land. Clicking here. Let's see what how we're doing. So, yeah, we actually, I think I already wildcarded the Shattered Sanctums quite early on because I was playing an Orzhov deck, but the rest of them we've got from packs. So it's only we only need 4. Wild cards to complete the lands. I don't think I worry too much about the 4th Voldaran Estate, unless I'm getting really serious about the Vampire deck. Cool. I thought, yeah, I'll just go ahead and wildcard them. Now, some people will say, you know, you might not want 4 copies of the tap land. Well, these are check lands, I suppose, aren't they? Because these are the ones that are going to be tapped in the early game. It could be a liability, but I'm not going to. I just decided I'm not going to worry too much about that. I play quite a variety of decks, so these are going to be the best lands available for a lot of those decks. Yep, still a healthy number of wildcards. Okay, cool. I think that is a video. I mean, I could wildcard Toxrill View Corrosive, but no, I think maybe another time. Anyway, so that is a video. Thanks for watching.